fair and open and competitive process like it does for every other national security need. I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves the balance of his time. Does anyone claim time in opposition? For what purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
I claim the time in opposition.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
I appreciate the gentleman's from New Mexico statement that sometimes it's best to make things as simple as possible. So looking at this as most simple as possible, the gentleman's amendment merely says strike. So we're striking a provision from the current bill. That provision of the bill merely says that these dollars are to be $150 million are for domestic national security related enrichment technology. Domestic. And what is this for? This is for our nuclear weapons programs. This is not like for a truck fleet to take things from one side of the country to the other. This is our nuclear weapons program. This provision that is asked to be being struck says that it is for domestic national security related enrichment technology. Now, that means that if you're not doing domestic, you're going to have the United States be subject to foreign sources. And again, these are critical components of our nuclear weapons infrastructure and our nuclear navy. We do not want to have foreign dependence upon a critical infrastructure. Now, Tom DiAgostino just recently came, director of the NNSA, and briefed the members of the Armed Services Committee and those who had an interest in this amendment, and he said, conclusion, domestic uranium enrichment capability is required to support national security and meet nuclear nonproliferation objectives. So we have 1, critical component of nuclear weapons, 2, the issue of domestic or foreign, 3, whether or not it's necessary and we need it. Those answers are all yes, which is why we should oppose this amendment. The next thing is what does this amendment actually do? This amendment, in striking this section, strikes a critical provision where it says that the United States, upon spending these dollars for our domestic capability, gets a license to the technology. The United States gets delivered to it the technology of this domestic production. If this is struck, the domestic production, which the money will be spent anyway, no longer has a license. Now, the reason why it will be spent anyway is because this amendment from the gentleman from New Mexico deletes Section 3156, but it doesn't delete the charts on page 992 from the back of this Section 4701, which has the line item in it. The money gets spent anyway, but we lose the license. And with that, I reserve the balance of my time.
There is a balance of his time. The gentleman from New Mexico.
Mr. Chairman, I would give 2 minutes to the gentleman from Massachusetts, Mr. Markey, a co-sponsor of the amendment.
After Congress privatized the United States Enrichment Corporation in 1996, we quickly learned that it couldn't survive in the private sector without committing continued and repeated bailouts by the taxpayer to the tune of billions of dollars. This company should actually be renamed the United States Earmark Corporation. The government has given it free centrifuge technology. The government has given it free uranium that it enriches and then sells below market prices, undercutting its free market competitors. The government has paid to clean up its radioactive waste. The government has assumed its liabilities. And what has happened to the billions of dollars that it has received from the taxpayers? Well, the entire company is now worth far less than the $150 million that is contained in this bill. It may be delisted from the New York Stock Exchange and become a penny stock. And after Tuesday's announcement of another gift of free uranium for USEC, Standard & Poor's downgraded it to junk bond status. J.P. Morgan is now in charge of all of its remaining dwindling cash. And when I asked the Treasury Department whether the government support for the company put taxpayers at risk, it said yes to me. We've been told that this earmark is only about getting the tritium we need for our nuclear weapons. But that is just not true. The treaty that governs uranium enrichment technology does not prevent other companies from doing the work. And Urenco is in New Mexico anyway, the competitor. And even if it did, there are other alternatives. When DOE examined its options, it found that downblending surplus, highly enriched uranium would cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars less than to use this corporation. This is a waste of money.
There are better alternatives already in the United States. There are better technologies that can be used at hundreds of millions of dollars less, and we are continuing to pour this earmarked money down a rat hole and wasting it. And we should be spending this money on the defense of our nation. I thank the gentleman for yielding.
The gentleman from Ohio. The gentleman has 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Need to point out, this is not an earmark. It has already been determined that this is not an earmark. This is a question of whether or not the United States of America is going to maintain its superiority as the world leader and protect our ability to provide for our nuclear security. The company in New Mexico, Urenco, is not an American-owned company. My colleague from Colorado has already made the comments very clearly from the National Nuclear Security Agency, from the State Department, right on down the line. We are required to purchase these types of uranium-enriched products from a domestic indigenous source. That's what this bill is about. I would be the first one to agree that everything that we're doing in this session of Congress has to do with trying to grow our economy and create jobs. This is one area where national security is concerned where I believe it takes preeminence. And with that, I urge us to defeat this amendment, and I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman reserves the balance of his time. Gentleman from New Mexico.
Mr. Chairman, I yield myself such time as they might consume. We continue to hear different arguments. We hear that USEC is necessary for national security purposes. It is absolutely not. The U.S. Navy confirms that it has enough highly enriched uranium fuel to last until 2050. DOE itself declared that at no time in the foreseeable future would more highly enriched uranium, weapons-grade uranium, be needed for defense. In March of 2012, the head of NNSA testified to the Senate that tritium production would not be affected if USEC failed. We're hearing arguments that don't stand up to the facts. My colleagues claim that USEC funding will protect U.S. intellectual property. It will not. USEC has had decades and billions of dollars of taxpayer money to create this technology and has failed. They've created 38 machines. 6 of those have failed, 1 catastrophically. There is nothing to be gained. Our friends are complaining that this amendment does nothing. In fact, in January of 2012, Secretary Chu wrote a letter that DOE does not have the authority to shift funds around without the consent of Congress. We're striking, with this amendment, we're striking that authority. Request unanimous consent to insert that letter into the record.
Gentleman's request is covered by General Lee.
Let's discuss what USEC is. USEC is Solyndra on steroids. It is a taxpayer bailout of a failed company. USEC is a company that lost $540 million in 2011, paid their chief executive officer $5 million while they were doing it. It's a company that has been downgraded 3 times in the last 5 years. Mr. Chairman, I request we vote for the amendment.
The gentleman from Ohio.
The letter that the gentleman from Mexico just placed in the record concerned the fiscal year 2012. This bill is about fiscal year 2013, and so it's irrelevant. It's fine to have it in the record so people can confirm that. I yield a minute to Mr. Franks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we should remember as a nation that there was a time when we were the only country on earth that had nuclear weapons capability, but that fell into foreign hands and the arms race was born. We should also remember that there was a time when we produced almost all of our uranium needs for our nuclear power plants. Today, we import over 90% of that. Mr. Chairman, both in terms of national security and in terms of not being responsible, letting a foreign entity have leverage over our nuclear Navy capability and our nuclear arms capability, I believe that we should pass this amendment. I believe we should not pass this amendment and change this language, because it's important that we maintain both our security and our ability to produce our needed uranium fuel and highly enriched weapons-grade uranium at home. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman from Ohio.
All of the names of the companies that have been mentioned in this debate are not in this bill. This bill even requires competition. It's somewhat irrelevant to have the discussion on specific companies. I yield the balance of our time to Mr. Sheva.
This is a matter of national security. This amendment would force the United States to be 100% reliant on Russian and European suppliers of enriched uranium, a compound critical to America's energy and national security needs. That's just unacceptable. I don't have anything against the Russians or Europeans, our friends, but it would be a strategic malfeasance to rely on them. Do not pass this amendment. Yield back.
Expired. The question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from New Mexico, Mr. Pierce. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. No. Opinion of the chair, the noes have it.
Mr. Chairman, I would request a recorded vote.
Pursuant to Clause 6 of Rule 18, further proceedings on the amendment offered by the gentleman from New Mexico will be postponed. For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Chair, I move that the committee do now rise.
Questions on the motion that the committee rise. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted, and accordingly the committee rises.
What time tomorrow?
Mr. Speaker, the Committee on the Whole House and the State of the Union have had into consideration H.R. 4310.
This one to read.
Report that has come to no resolution thereof.
The Chair of the Committee of the Whole on the State of the Union reports that the committee has had under consideration H.R. 4310 and has come to no resolution thereon. The Chair raised before the House the following personal request.
Leave of absence requested for Ms. Wasserman Schultz of Florida for today and the balance of the week.
Without objection, the request is granted.
Move that the House is drawn.
9 a.m. today. For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do now adjourn.
Question is on the motion to adjourn. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Accordingly, the House stands adjourned until 9 a.m. today.